This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Hello, college basketball fans. Welcome to a special podcast for Most Valuable Podcast. My name is Ricky Widmer, and I am joined by the Mark Weber.
How's it going, guys?
And we're here to preview the 2015 NCAA Tournament, Mark. And I know that you, Mark, are not a huge college basketball guy. I am the huge basketball guy in the room, and this is a special year. Last year was special. We had an undefeated team, but it was Wichita State. Now everyone's going, hey, there's this new team in town. They're called the Kentucky Wildcats.
Have you heard of these guys?
And they're seeking perfection.
They're pretty good at the basketball. Have you heard of them?
But you coming in to a bracket.
Yeah.
How many college basketball games have you watched this season?
Not very many. Under 10.
If you were going to bet on Kentucky to go 40-0, would you take it?
Nope.
Why?
I would not. I'm never a believer in the undefeated. It's never. I mean, it does happen, I guess, but it never happens.
You want to know something interesting about this?
Sure.
Vegas put Kentucky. If you put money on Kentucky to win it all, you'd break even.
Well, that's good.
So you have to bet on someone like Gonzaga, Duke, Nova, Wisconsin, if you want to win any money, or else you're just going to break even if Kentucky wins. It's like 11-10 odds for Kentucky.
Now, see, for that, they have to lose the first game, don't they? They just have to lose.
You tank against the Hampton Pirates?
You know how much money you would make if you did that? It's illegal, but you know how much money you would make if you're one of those players you bet on yourself?
I believe Boston College got in a wee bit of trouble for doing that, Mark.
Well, what do you care? You're gone. You're probably playing in the NBA now.
But we're going to go through each region. How this is going to work, we're going to go through each region, then we're going to go through our Final Four and predict our championship. We'll start in the Midwest, the Kentucky region. And with me, Mark, through this region, I feel like it's a Kentucky-heavy region with a sprinkling of upsets.
Well, I don't really have too much upset going on in this one. The big guys here are going to do great things. No one's going to take down Kentucky. Kansas, of course, they're going to do great. They're going to be there.
You think Kansas? How far do you have Kansas going in this region?
I've got them all the way to the Sweet 16.
Really?
Sweet 16, then they're going to not do it.
See, here's the thing about Kansas that worries me. Number one, I feel like they're just going to choke. Number two, they're big freshmen. Earlier in the year, Bill Self said, if we want to make a run at the tournament, at the championship, we got to develop Cliff Alexander into a quality low-post player. Well, he's ineligible. He ain't playing for the whole tournament. He's been suspended for the postseason. So to me, I feel like Kansas, one and done. They're going to play a Wichita State team in the second round, a team that they've been ducking, I'm going to say, and saying, we're not going to play it because we don't want to lose to you. Wichita State beats them, beats Notre Dame, but loses to Kentucky, doesn't get the revenge that Kentucky gave to them when they said, hey, we're going to end your perfect season, Shockers. We're going to end it.
I don't think Wichita's going to get the opportunity. I mean, I definitely had them going up against Kansas here.
Are you one of those people that is like, how do you think, and I know you said you have Kansas to the Elite Eight, you said?
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Do you have Notre Dame then in the Elite Eight?
Yep.
Wow, you're one of those people riding the Fighting Irish train?
I shouldn't, but I'm going to believe it for a while.
They beat Duke, and now everyone's riding the Fighting Irish?
You got to do it at the right time, baby. As long as you win games at the right time, you're doing it.
See, I've got Notre Dame going to the Sweet 16, but that's only because they played Butler in the round of 32 for me.
Yeah,
and I know you hate Butler.
Butler's not doing nothing. They're going to I don't even think they're going to play.
The interesting part of this region, though, I've got, on my bracket, it's interesting. I've got number 12 Buffalo upsetting West Virginia, playing the number 13-seeded Valpo Crusaders, who are going to upset the Terrapins of Maryland, and then Buffalo's going on to the Sweet 16 to play Kentucky. Not play Kentucky, to lose to Kentucky.
Where we are sitting right now, we are not that far from the Valparaiso campus. But I'm sorry to all my friends who went to Valpo. You guys aren't going to do anything. And every year, all of them on Facebook get so excited when they're playing in the tournament, and it doesn't happen. Not necessarily the big tournament, but when they're in the runnings at least. I'm sorry, guys. Maryland, they got you guys beat.
It's a hard pick for me. I'm a Big Ten guy. I know what a guy like Melo Trimble can do. I've seen him do it for Maryland all year. But something about this Valpo team.
You want the story.
It just smells a little bit of upset. Overall, though, I feel Kentucky's going to win the region.
Yep.
They're going to the Final Four. Let's go to the West.
Okay.
This is the one with the 1 seed being Wisconsin. Here's an interesting fact about Wisconsin and the 1 seed. On the ESPN, on their Snapchat thing, the last 3 Big Ten teams to be number 1 seeds was Ohio State, Michigan State, and Indy in the years 10, 12, and 13. All 3 of those teams, when they were number 1 seeds, made it to the Sweet 16, and that's as far as they got. With me, I love Wisconsin. I love them. But I'm riding that history. History's going to repeat himself. Wisconsin's going to meet the Tar Heels in the Sweet 16, and the Tar Heels are getting the upset. Frank the Tank is no more.
I don't know. I mean, I got them in the, what do I have them in? Elite 8, I believe. No, actually, they're going to be in the Sweet 16. is what I have them in as well. But
You
I
got them losing to Wofford, don't you?
No,
The Terriers.
no, I wish.
The number 12 Terriers.
The Terriers, although I'm really tempted for them to win the whole thing, they're not going to beat Arkansas. But you know
Really?
who Arkansas is going to beat?
I got them beating. I got Warford beating Arkansas.
I got Arkansas beating Warford, beating Harvard because Harvard made it.
You got Harvard beating my Tar Heels.
I got it. I got to pick Harvard here. But Arkansas is going to go ahead and they're going to say, you know what, Wisconsin? Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. Just before, of course, getting beat by Arizona.
You know who I feel like this is going to be their region to win? Arizona.
Yeah.
I've got Arizona going to the Final Four. I mean, Baylor to me is an interesting team here, but I feel like whoever comes out, Ole Miss or BYU, I've got them beating Xavier, whoever it is, because they still got to play a play-in game. I believe they're playing right now as we're recording this. They're going to beat Xavier. They're going to upset Baylor, and then Zona's going to beat whoever that play-in winner is in the Sweet 16. And then, I mean, Arizona, UNC, would I like the Tar Heels to go on? Yeah, I got nothing against Michael Jordan's alma mater, but Arizona to me, even if Arizona played Wisconsin, I feel like Arizona would beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in Arizona on this one. They're probably, I mean, seeding being what it is, I like Arizona the best out of all the options that we have in this bracket.
And just a little before we go on to the other two regions, if you're sitting there going, okay, guys, I'm filling out my bracket, what are some things I should be thinking about? The games you have to look at is, first off, the 8-9 games, just flip a coin.
Pretty much.
Flip a coin, because in the last, how many years, they're split right down the middle. So 8-9 games are irrelevant. A 9 beating an 8 is no big deal. However, the 12-5 games, those are the ones to focus on, because, Mark, in, I want to say the last 10 years or more, at least one 12 seed has beaten a 5 seed.
Yeah.
It happens. Last year, one of the teams to do it was SF Austin. They have a chance to do it again. With me, I'm going to play a little spoiler alert on my bracket. Out of all the 12-5 matchups, I've got 3 12s moving on.
That's
Buffalo,
too many 12s.
Buffalo, Wofford, and SF Austin.
Too many 12s.
To me, West Virginia, not a strong 5 seed. Arkansas is a strong 5 seed, but the thing that rules in the NCAA tournament is 3-pointers, and Warford can hit those. And to me, Utah's on the way down. SF Austin's going to steal one from them. To me, the only quality 5 seed is Northern Iowa. Yeah, Wyoming, who they're playing, is coming in real hot. But only Northern Iowa is really strong. And let's move to the South. I'm going to say it right here. I think we're on a collision course in this. The only bracket which will see a 1-2 matchup in the Elite Eight, Duke versus Gonzaga. Duke usually chokes. They're not going to get to the Final Four, won't get to the championship, but they're going to make it to the Elite Eight, I believe. They're that strong.
What I'm going to say about Duke right here is they will not make it there. They're going to be at the Sweet 16. Good for them.
Who do you got them losing to?
Georgetown.
Ooh. See, interesting thing about Georgetown, I got them losing in the round of 32 to SF Austin.
I mean, they're going to play SF Austin, but they're not going to lose.
I've got a 12 seed in SF Austin. Here's what I feel. I feel like you have to have at least one double-seeded team get to
Ricky,
week 2.
I've got one.
Give me them.
UCLA here.
Really?
I'm gonna believe
really
in UCLA.
UCLA is a team where everyone was like they shouldn't even be in the tournament,
and they're gonna be shutting up the doubters. That's what I'm saying. There's always gonna be one of those.
They're gonna beat Larry Brown and SMU.
Surprise, baby!
Really?
Cinderella is here, and she is playing ball until Gonzaga comes in and puts her down.
Me and you have different Cinderellas. Mine are all 12, 13 seeds. I don't have, to me, I mean, I have 2 11 seeds winning, and both of the 11 seeds are play-in winners.
Mm-hmm.
I've got play-in winners going on runs to the Sweet 16, whether it be BYU Ole Miss or Boise State Dayton.
Yeah.
They're going to go on to week 2. To me, though, I feel like I got SMU beating UCLA, but whoever plays that Iowa State team, they can't beat Iowa State, can they? Iowa State shoots the 3 really well. 3-pointers rule in March.
Sure. All you need in this situation, though, is for those not to fall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's simple. It really is. But both these teams, I mean, UCLA is going to be scoring 70 points a game anyway, so they're going to be right around there. It's going to be close.
Who do you got winning the South? Going to the Final Four from the South?
I'm going to have Gonzaga.
Okay, so we're in agreement. And to me, this is what I feel about Gonzaga. Usually in years past, I've been the one to pinpoint the game where Gonzaga loses.
It's always going to happen.
I never rode the Gonzaga bandwagon, but this year I might change that, and you'll find out.
This year
you'll find out how much Ricky's going to be riding the Gonzaga bandwagon. But going to the East, our last region. To me, I have my Villanova. Yeah, they only have 2 losses, Mark, but they are going to be the first 1 seed to get bounced from the tournament. They're losing in the second round to LSU.
I don't have it.
LSU's going to be the team to knock them off.
I very much disagree on this. I believe in Villanova's opportunity to get very, very, very far. Almost as far as you can get here. I have them. They're going to be playing some tough competition. North Carolina State. They're going to be playing Louisville. They're going to be playing Georgia. Georgia's going to be getting into the some
Really? You got Georgia?
action.
You got Georgia beating Virginia?
I do.
You got Georgia on your mind, Mark?
I do. They're sitting pretty right now. Those are my two double-seeded teams that get in pretty far. Double digit.
This is another region for me that has a heavy upset kind of focus where you look at the Providence game. Number 6 Providence against the 11 play-in winner. Whoever it is, Boise State, Dayton. I'm going to say it's Dayton. They're going to beat Providence. They'll move on. Then I got Albany, the 14th seeded Albany, beating number 3 Oklahoma. Shades of Mercer Duke from last year.
I don't know about that.
The Hounds are, I think they're they're the Great Danes. The Albany Great Danes are going to be going on to the weekend. They're not just going to play on Thursday or Friday, whenever they do. They're going to be going on to Saturday or Sunday. Then they'll lose to Dayton.
I'm not a believer. Not a believer here, Ricky. Definitely not. I mean, for my Sweet 16, I've got Villanova, Louisville, Providence, Georgia. So I'm believing.
My Sweet 16, LSU versus Northern Iowa. So that's a 9-5 matchup. I got Northern Iowa advancing to the Elite Eight from that. Then Boise State, Dayton versus Virginia. Virginia plays Northern Iowa in a matchup. And I looked this up. Out of all the 5-2 matchups in the tournament, there haven't been a lot of them. The 5 seed's undefeated. Northern Iowa will play Virginia in the Elite Eight. They will keep that record clean. Northern Iowa, the lowest seeded team, or the highest seeded team, I should say, number-wise, is going to the Final Four. The Panthers, they're going to the Final Four.
We'll see. We will see.
Shades of Farouk Madouche. I think that was the name. Ali Farouk Madouche. Great, and this is me showing my March Madness knowledge, hitting some threes. He's the guy that when Northern Iowa played Kansas a couple years ago, he had that fast break, stopped at the three-point line, squared up, nailed a wide-open fast break 3 to ice the game.
Farouk Madouche. It'd be embarrassing if you missed it, of course. So what is your Final Four?
My Final Four is on the left side of the bracket, so Midwest and West regions. Kentucky versus Arizona. On the right side of the bracket, the East winner will be Northern Iowa, the 5 seed. They will play the 2 seed from the South, Gonzaga. Kentucky, Zona, Northern Iowa, Gonzaga. How about you?
I got a couple of 1-2s here.
Okay.
I got Kentucky, Arizona, then Villanova, Gonzaga. Going on here, we're going to get yet another 1-2.
Before you do that, I want to give this is another fact if you're going, okay, Ricky, how do I pick my Final Four? How many 1 seeds do I advance?
All of them.
Okay. Since the tournament expanded to 64 teams, only once has all 4 1 seeds made it to the Final Four. So you can put your money that, you know what, one of them is going down. But however, 13 times 2 1 seeds go to the Final Four. 12 times you have 1. So you either got to pick. You either pick 2 1 seeds to go, like you did, Mark, or like me, you only pick 1 1 seed. That's your safe bet, because that's 13 to 12. Those are the 2 highest.
For sure.
4 and none, the 2 extremes, probably not going to happen. Go ahead with your championship.
So I got Arizona playing Villanova.
Okay. The Villanova Hovas.
But I'm going to believe in Arizona to beat the number 1 seed and get it done.
Really?
Get it done.
Who do you got?
Championship.
So you had Kentucky losing to
Arizona
in the Final Four?
In the Final Four, yeah. Kentucky loses Arizona.
Okay. I have the same thing. I've got Arizona ending Kentucky's perfect season in Indianapolis on April 4th. They go on. They're going to play Monday, April 6th in Indy. However, on the other side, you know how I said Northern Iowa over Virginia? 5s have always beaten the 2 seeds? Well, that changes in the Final Four, because Northern Iowa is going to go up against another 2 seed in Gonzaga, and Gonzaga is going to say, oh, no, little brother. We're putting the hammer down on you. We're going to the championship. This is the year for Gonzaga. Not only do they win the championship, they get redemption on the only non-conference team to beat them this season in the Arizona Wildcats.
We're going to have to wait and see, Ricky. I'm excited personally to see in our tournament group that we've made for the MVP. I'm excited to see what other people have.
Hey, if you haven't joined, the link is down below, whether you're listening to the special podcast on the YouTube channel or our SoundCloud page. That link is down below. Enter the group. Put your knowledge against us. But, Mark, I want to say one thing about Gonzaga in the championship game.
Yeah.
If Gonzaga makes it that far, there's only 2 teams I want to see them play in the championship. One is who I have, Arizona, because not only has Gonzaga got revenge on BYU in the conference tournament for beating them in the regular season, and they won their conference tournament in that game. That was in the finals. They would get revenge on Arizona, too, in the championship, set all their wrongs. Kind of like being perfect. Okay, we lost to you. We righted those wrongs. We won the championship. However, part of me also kind of wants to see a Gonzaga-Kentucky national championship because there's a senior on Gonzaga right now that played his early time at Kentucky, played some quality minutes, started, said, hey, you know what? These high-talented freshmen are coming in. I'm not going to be starting. I'm going to transfer to Gonzaga where I can start. And I would love to see him go up against his old team and just say, hey, you know what, John? I'm going to beat you.
Oh, it would only...
The senior
what I would love to see
gets the redemption.
Out of that is then Gonzaga losing. It's like, yeah, well, you left for a reason.
You think so?
I would love
to
see that. Oh, I would love it.
Part of me does not want to see Kentucky go perfect.
It's tough. It's tough to choose and root for a team to go perfect, only because it is so rare. But it is, when you see it, though, it is beautiful.
And Kentucky, to me, there's also that other storyline of, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. If they meet Wichita State in the Elite Eight, and Wichita State gets to go, hey, you ended our perfect season last year in the second round. Well, guess what? We're going to end your perfect season this year. And kind of, to me, the whole thing I'm looking at with this is a year for redemption. Because Kentucky is going to have a target on their back. However, though, I will admit, they are the best team on paper. But in March, the best team on paper doesn't usually matter. Because Cinderella usually has their own things to say. That glass slipper falls off, and who does it fit? That's what we're trying to find. Who does that glass slipper truly fit? But tell us down below. Actually, don't tell us down below. Tell us in the tournament challenge who you got in our Final Four. Who do you think is going to win the NCAA Tournament this year in 2015? I want to thank everyone for listening to this special, shorter podcast for MVP Network. And as always, well, for the onside kick, as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.